Hello and welcome to our daily check-in. Today is day 5 of Teacher Appreciation Week, but like I said in an earlier video, I wanted the theme for this week to be about appreciation. We've talked about so many different groups of people, but today I thought I would spend some time talking about the people who have a positive impact on our mental well-being. The first group will be our school counselors, right? So we have Mrs. Mazzoni, Mrs. Wagner, and Mrs. Niclario. Um, they went to school, right, to be a school counselor. And the reason why they did that is because deep down they had this desire to help others, right? To help them deal with trauma, to help them deal with stress, anxiety, help them deal with depression, help them deal with peer conflicts, um, you know, basically help them in any way possible. It takes a very special person to be a school counselor because you have to have that, you know, willingness sometimes to give up your own mental well-being to help others deal with their mental well-being. As I've told, you guys in the past, when you guys are upset, we're upset. When you're happy, we're happy. So, school counselors, they hear a lot of things. And so we want to always give them, send them positive vibes because they sometimes let their buckets, their mental buckets and, emotional buckets get empty because they're taking what they have to help fill your buckets. That's why you always want to be a bucket filler because you just don't know whose bucket is going to be on empty, right? Now, we also have child study team members in our building, and they're fantastic as well. There's a whole bunch of them, okay? And I apologize for not listing all of you guys, but I think you guys are all fantastic. They deal with very similar issues, helping people deal with stress and anxiety, and issues. So, when you see a child study team member or you see a school counselor, or even if you see a school nurse, you know, they're all helping you be the best you can be, and from the mental wellness perspective. Now, I know there's physical education teachers in the building who, teach mental wellness, and, I want to give a shout out to them as well. Going through life, you're going to experience potentially trauma, you're going to experience stress, you're going to experience all these things. And the reason why I want to make this the last video of the week is because I want you guys to be aware that you're not alone, right? So, if you're feeling upset or maybe a little bit overwhelmed about being home during this quarantine, you're not alone. So talk to people. Obviously, you might not be able to always reach out to the school counselor. Maybe they're not available because maybe it's late at night or whatever it might be. But know that you have your family there too. So I want to give a shout out to them because, your siblings, whether you have a brother or sister, or your mom or your dad, they're good people to talk to. I know that, for me, it was always my sister who was just the one right above me. I have 3 older sisters. It's like having a bunch of moms, which at times could have been, it was kind of rough at times, but generally speaking, I'm super appreciative. But anytime I was stressed out, I would reach out to her. And what she would do, and I know your family members will do, is the first thing is that they listen. Sometimes you just need someone to listen to what you have to say, but they're not going to be able to listen to what you have to say if you keep it all inside. So it's always very healthy to kind of get it out and let people know how you're feeling. Even if you're having a good day, you should always tell people. Now, another thing that they do is they can help you manage your stress, right? They can give you some suggestions. It is not to say that they're there to fix your problem. It's there that they're going to help maybe you come up with some options. Think of things that you might not have to help deal with your situation. I know when my own kids are doing their schoolwork, sometimes they have a hard time managing what to be done at what time. So my wife and I will sit and work with them to help them. I admit my wife does a lot more of that than I do. She's very good at organizing and helping them put things in perspective. So, your family members can help you do that. Your friends are there for you too, right? So you want to always show appreciation to your friends. And I'm talking about the real friends, the ones who say they're there for you and they are in fact there for you. They listen to you. A good friend is someone who listens as opposed to someone who just talks over you and tries to tell you what to do. So your good friends will be the ones that listen. And I'm really hoping that you have these kind of friends. But if you don't, that's what family's for. And honestly, if you're having a hard time and you're a student of mine, reach out to me. I'd be happy to listen to whatever you're going through. So showing appreciation to people who are there for you is really important. I think during times of stress, it's very hard to go through it alone. So you always want to go talk to people who can make you see the upside. Like Miss Hodson, she does that for me. Mrs. Reed does that for me. Actually, a lot of my friends do that for me. And the reason why I'm kind of saying these things is because I'm definitely one who experiences stress and anxiety. And I reach out to my, not just my wife and my family, but to my friends too, because it feels better just to get it out there, to start talking. So who is usually the one person who is there for you always, right? And that's usually our mothers. Now, this Sunday, and I said it in the previous videos this week, is Mother's Day. You know, being a mom, there's just something unique about being a mom. I mean, obviously, I'll never understand what it's like to be a mom, because I'm not a mom, I'm a dad. But mothers always have a way of either making you feel better, or they're just, it's appreciation for the little things. When your mom is super tired and you tell your mom you're hungry, and yet she'll still cook you food. You tell your mom at 9 o'clock at night, hey, I have a project due tomorrow morning, and you've known about it for a month, and your mom is there like, okay, let's do this. Or you need a ride to practice, or you need a ride to your friends, whatever it might be. Your mother always seems to be the one who's just doing their thing. Now, I'm not saying that dads don't do that. Shout out to you dads, but since it is Mother's Day, make sure you tell your mom how appreciative you are, because if I know anything either about my wife or a lot of my other friends and family who are moms, they are constantly filling their kids' mental buckets, constantly. So sometimes their buckets are pretty empty, and we need to fill their buckets with compliments, signs of appreciation. It's just really important to let your mother know, that. And the reason why I'm saying this is, I'm not that old, and my mom, my current, obviously my mom, she's no longer alive, and so I don't have that opportunity. So I want to make sure that I tell my wife and my sisters, how grateful I am for them. But you just always want to tell people. You just always want to tell people that you're appreciative of them. Now, not to sound like on a downer note, because I don't want to really end it that way, but I just want you to realize that everything, doesn't have to be negative, right? So yes, you're home, it's kind of a stinker, but look for the positive. Someone had told me recently that when you're feeling bummed out, right, look around your room for some artifacts, something in your room that just randomly name things around your room, and then maybe think about what was a positive connection to that particular item. So I'm going to show you something that's not really new. I mean, not really something that it's something old, something I just got that I just want to share also my appreciation for an artifact. So this is a mask that I picked up from Mrs. D. So she was nice enough to surprise me and put in an extra mask in the Yankees, because she knows that I like the Yankees. So, I look at it as, okay, so I'm stuck home. It's kind of a bummer. But when I look at this mask, I look at that I met somebody this year who took the time to know me and make something special for me. So that person actually took the time to do something special for me. So I'm so appreciative of that. And the reason why I say that is because even during times of trauma, during times of hardships, you want to find, as Mrs. Coca would say, the rainbow, right? So knowing that I have somebody who thought of me in that way makes this delightful day here, which, as you can see, a little gloomy, but it made this day a little bit nicer. And I was actually appreciative. I got to go in my car today and go somewhere, which was fantastic. So as you celebrate Mother's Day, give your mother an extra big squeeze, right? Tell her you love her. Call grandmas if you can, or aunts if for some reason they have children, or if you're a little bit older and you have siblings who have kids, give them a shout out too, because Mother's Day is something that should be celebrated a lot. So I'm going to take this opportunity to give a shout out to my sisters, who are phenomenal, phenomenal mothers. I've never seen two women do more for their kids. They're always taking care of them and going above and beyond. I'd like to also give a shout out to my, my stepmom, who's always treated me like a kid, her kid, and my mother-in-law, who's exceptional mother-in-law. My father-in-law's wife, who's always been very nice to us. Shout out to them. And if I missed anybody, I apologize. But all my colleagues who are moms, just know that I hope you have a happy Mother's Day. You guys are great people, such kind and caring individuals, and I'm sure your kids are very lucky. And knowing that you guys, the last thing I'll end on this, I am appreciative of you guys. Your parents are doing a great job raising you. When I see you in the hallway helping kids pick up books or holding doors for people or pushing in chairs in the classroom or giving people compliments or being inclusive and letting kids sit with you either at lunch or at a classroom table, those are the type of things that your parents will be very proud of. So let's just all take this moment and appreciate the fact that we were very fortunate to have come into contact with each other, and everybody just has a way to make other people's lives better. We just have to figure out the best way to do that. And the number one way to do that is just be kind to people. Your parents raised you to be kind. Let's keep with that. I know you can do it. You guys are a great team. I miss you guys. And until our next check-in next week, have an amazing Mother's Day weekend with your family. And I can't wait to hear about what you guys did. Okay? Until then, peace out.